In English, we say red car. In Spanish, we say carro rojo. The adjective going before or after a noun is just one of the ways Spanish sentence structure differs from English. There's also subject omission, double negative, no auxiliaries, pronoun placements, and you name it. But I know it sounds confusing. Don't you worry. Because today I will show you each one with practical examples and you'll see this is easier than you think. So, ¿estás listo? Empecemos. And let's start with the easiest one, okay? Number one is adjective placement. Yeah. It's just like I said at the beginning. In English, the adjective, those little words we use to describe things and people, go before the thing we're describing, right? For example, a beautiful house, a brilliant student, a good person. Simple, right? In English, simple, yeah. But in Spanish, you will usually see the adjective after the noun, okay? So we would say instead of a beautiful house, we would say casa hermosa, hermosa being the adjective, being after the noun, which is casa. Un estudiante brillante, una persona buena. Oh, wait, yeah. There is a twist here. Even though this is the usual, there are exceptions, okay? You will sometimes hear an adjective before the noun, like in English, of course. To say a good person in Spanish, it's actually also okay to say una buena persona. All right? So, una buena persona, so it's also valid, but be careful. In some cases, it might change the meaning or require something else. For example, look at this. Un hombre pobre is a man that is actually poor, financially, but un pobre hombre is a man that is going through a difficult moment or situation, okay? So, pay attention to that. It's not associated with not having money. This guy, un pobre hombre, is not with money. Keep an eye for that, okay? Attention with those exceptions. Very interesting. As a guide, remember, most of the time, you will leave the adjective after the noun, okay? Muy bien. Excelente. We're doing great. Let's move on. Let's move on to the second different sentence structure. Number two is the subject omission. In English, we say, for example, just study Spanish. If we erase the subject like this, and just study Spanish, it doesn't make sense. Like, you study Spanish, estudia español. If we erase the subject like this and leave study Spanish, it doesn't make sense. It sounds like an order, right? Study Spanish. Horrible. It's like German. It changes meaning. It's not the same. This doesn't happen in Spanish. This is beautiful, right? And look at this. In Spanish, instead of saying the full sentence, we would, tú estudias español, to study Spanish. It's actually even more common to say, estudias español. And it's correct. It doesn't change the meaning and it doesn't cause confusion. But hey, don't worry. It's not some magic instinct or anything. There's a reason for this. This makes sense, well, actually for two reasons. First, there's usually context clues, right? And if I'm talking to you and only to you, and I say, hey, estudias español, it's implicit that I mean you too. We're the only ones here. It's not that necessary to actually say it out loud. And the second reason for this is the verb. Because in Spanish, the verbs are conjugated. We can guess the subject from the form of the verb. For example, there is an obvious difference between estudias español and estudiamos español. Do you see how neither of these sentences have a subject, like the ones I just gave you? And yet, it's obvious that the first one is tú and the second one is nosotros. Why? Because of the conjugation of the verb. Right? It's easy, muy fácil. Now let's go to the third one, all right? And this one is fun. Number 3 is double negative. Yes, they're totally valid in Spanish. Look, in English, you've probably been told to avoid them, right? When I was learning, I kept saying, I don't know nothing. And my teachers were losing their patience with me because no plus a negative word like nothing is redundant. Well, in Spanish, it's different. In Spanish, it's completely fine to say no sé nada. And it's the same thing. It's the same pattern. The word no plus a negative word, in this case, nada. Look at this, no sé nada. Okay? We have another example here. No vi a nadie. I didn't see nobody. In English, you would say I didn't see anyone. But no vi a nadie is totally fine in Spanish. Okay? Super interesting. So don't worry about that. It's a fun rule to break, you know? Like, yeah. And that means we can jump to the fourth difference. Are you ready? Number 4 is the lack of auxiliary verbs. Specifically, I want to talk to you about creating questions in English versus Spanish. Let's take a very simple one like, do you know the teacher? Because it's a question. We need that little word do in English at the start of the sentence, right? You know that. Sure, with the right information, you can say, you know the teacher? But that's more informal. It's not the correct structure, you know? Meanwhile, in Spanish, this question would be, ¿Tú conoces al profesor? You know the teacher. ¿Tú conoces al profesor? With the verb conocer conjugated. There is no equivalent to adding do at the start of the question. And let's take it one step further, right? Remember the second difference, the subject omission? You can absolutely do that here too. It would be a perfectly valid question just to say, ¿Conoces al profesor? Avoiding the to subject there. Because we know that conoces is conjugated form of the verb conocer in second person to. Then we don't have to include it. The only extra thing we add when writing is that upside down question mark at the beginning. Don't forget it. Now, the time has come. We know about adjective placement, subject omission, double negative, and auxiliary verbs. We only have one left. We have one more big difference in the sentence structure between English and Spanish. Number 5 is the placement of the object pronoun. First of all, what are object pronouns anyway? These are words that replace the object of a sentence. Oh my God. Let's keep it simple, okay? Let's identify them as me, you, him, her, it, us, them. And in Spanish, it's something like me, te, lo, la, nos, los, las. If you want in-depth explanation to master these pronouns, you can take a moment to watch my full video on this subject, all right? But for now, what I want to see is a difference in placement, okay? Attention. Because in English, you're used to saying, for example, I know them. Like your friends or your coworkers, you say, I know them, right? Well, in Spanish, it's different. In Spanish, we would say, yo los conozco. Yo los conozco. Do you see the difference? I know them. Los conozco. In English, the object pronoun them goes after the verb. I know them. Meanwhile, in Spanish, the object pronoun los goes before the verb. Oh, beautiful. Los conozco, right? Now, sure, there are exceptions. And it gets more complicated with more complex types of sentences, you know? But these are the basics, okay? This is an excellent start to handle the structural difference between English and Spanish. And see, it wasn't so difficult after all. And of course, if you still have questions or any doubts, please don't hesitate to leave your questions in the comments of the video, okay? I'll be right here ready to reply. And remember, if you don't want to miss more of this easy and practical Spanish lessons, like this video and subscribe to our channel. Right now, what you have is a simple task, a simple homework. Try with one example. Hey, comment it below, like, subscribe. I'll see you again soon. Nos vemos.